Let's start our study. Today's study by reciting Namo Tassa, paying homage to the Buddha together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, very good to see you again. For this second lesson, we are going to study about the Abhidhamma and 31 plane of existence. So in the previous lesson, I made a brief introduction to Abhidhamma, and including his story, context, and some other context. So today we are going to make another introduction. I asked another introduction is about the planes. We will come up in the next lesson of 38, 39, and 40 again. So this is the initial lesson, initial study, in order to complete our understanding during the lesson 38, 39, and 40. Based on the Abhidhamma knowledge, we will extend our understanding. In that context, Abhidhamma explains 5 categories of teachings: Chitta, Chittasika, Rupa, and Nibbana. And also Panyati. Including Panyati, there are 5 contents taught in the Abhidhamma, mostly emphasized in the ultimate reality, which is called Paramattha. So the Panyati is only a few parts of the Abhidhamma teachings. But we cannot leave aside all the rules of the Panyati, because we live in the world which is under the influence of the Panyati. So Panyati is the name of the things and beings. So we call something according to the Panyati. So we call the house and monastery, pagoda, the person, and animals, etc. So according to their name, we use in our common conversation. So here, the plane of existence also a kind of Panyati. If we consider the plane of existence from the Abhidhamma teaching, named is Panyati. But if we go beyond the Panyati, there are the underlying ultimate reality. For example, if you call the human realms, what is a human realms? We have to show this is the human realms now we are living in. But although it is named as the human realms, in reality, it is, if we indicate the place we are living, there must be the materiality. And the beings are included in the human realms because they exist there. So mentality also come into the consideration. So understanding with the example, if we see a house and the furniture in the house, so we say this is the house, and after going into the house, we see the furniture. But in the common sense, we understand in this way: this is the house, and these are the furniture, and these are the people in the house. But if we classify according to the ultimate reality of ultimate truth of Paramata, the house may be composed of the wood or brick or cement or some other materialities. So if we divide all materialities into their kinds, there will not be house anymore. In the same way, the plane is dead. In the common understanding, in the common sense, that is the plane to live in, the human realms or of the Deva realms. Like this, we can name. That is the Panyati. Like the house is divided into the different types of materials. Our existence also divided into the materialities. After going into the house, and if we see the furniture or the beings, or furniture is composed of wood or some other material, and the being is composed of the mentality and materiality in this way. So now we come to trying to understand about the plane of existence. So we will classify according to their name given by the human, by the people. And in other way, we were trying to understand according to the ultimate reality too. So first of all, let's try to understand according to the name. There are 31 planes of existence in the Buddhist cosmos. The Buddhism counts 31 planes of existence. Okay, here we already shared this slides to everyone. So the first page written in Pali, most of them are written in Pali, to call by the name. And in second page, in second slides, the first slides are translated into English, but still will not be easy to understand what it means. And so let's go back to first slide and see. Starting from the bottom, in the bottom, the lowest one, the Niraya, in the left side of the charts, you will see there are only two classifications. So 31 planes of existence, in Pali it is called the Okasa Loka. So plane of existence is called Okasa Loka. Divided into two, that we will usually step from the bottom. The first division is Kama Vachara. So plane of Kama Vachara. So Kama Vachara Bhumi. In Pali, it is called the Bhumi, Kama Vachara. 11 Kama Vachara. So Kama Vachara realms 11. And going up, so here in the chat I share is H is dropped. So I'm correct. So Brahma, 20 Brahma worlds. Altogether 31 planes of existence. So what is the difference between the Kama Vachara and the Brahma world? So Kama Vachara world is the common to all beings. You can be reborn in the Kama Vachara world in the common sense of the cause. So you do the unwholesome, you will be reborn in the apaya, which is shown out in the red. And if you perform, or if you make the wholesome kusala, you will be reborn in the 7 Kama Sugati. So in the Kamavachara, 11 Kamavachara realms, 2 division of Apaya and Kama Sugati. So you may not understand at the beginning what is mean, but you can read the name. So Kamavachara 11 divided into 2, Kama Sugati and Apaya. This is the common to all beings. So it means common to me, you don't need to have this special practice to be born in the Kama Vachara realms. Just doing good, you will be reborn in the Kama Sugati, the upper realms. Doing wrong, you will be reborn in the lower state of Apaya. So for the Brahma, 20 Brahma worlds, to be reborn in the 20 Brahma realms, you need to practice the concentration meditation, which is called the samatha practice. If you success in the samatha practice in certain level, which is called the jhana, the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana. So according to the level of the jhana, which is in other way, according to level of the concentration, you will be reborn in the Brahma realms. To be reborn in the Brahma realms, you need a special practice, which is called the samatha. So this is 2 classification. And going to the more detail, the Kamavachara realms is divided into 2, the Apaya and the Opu state. So if you have the slide already printed, or if you can change to the second slide, this translation is given in the second slide. So, but we need to switch the slide back and forth to understand in the name and also in the translation. So the Opu state, this is the translation of the Apaya. And here, the sensuous blissful plane. These are the translation of the Kama Sugati here in the first slide. So the Kama Vachara Bhumi is divided into Kama Vachara realms are divided into 2 parts. One is good and one is bad. Good is called the Kama Sugati, and the bad awful state is called the Apaya. So here Apaya contains 4 realms. In the name Niraya, Tirachana, Peda, and Asura. We will see first them in the name in the translation. So Niraya is translated as the hell. So, and the Tirachana is animal kingdom, and sphere of Peda. This is all the Peda. Peda is called the sphere of Pedas, hungry ghost, etc. etc. I mean, it can include the other types of the beings, but they mostly suffer. And the 4th one, Asura Gaya, the host of the Asura. So Asura is translated as an Asura, and maybe it is demon or someone else. And going up there, among the sensual blissful plane 7, the lowest one is human realms. We call it in the Pali, it is called Manusa. So our human realms step. And also our human realms included under the classification of the sensuous blissful planes. Then, in brief, upper 6, the rest 6 of the sensual blissful planes are called the sense-pure heavens. So heavens are Deva realms. So these are celestial beings. So these also have the 6 category here, 6 types. In the name, in the Pali name, these are called, the Deva realms are called the Chatu Maharaja, Tautensa, Yama, Tusita, Nimmanarati, Pranimita, Vasawati. It's much more convenient to call it in Pali name. So, and I would like to suggest to try to be able to call the name in Pali. So, because, if you try to translate, the main meanings come. The realms of the 4 great kings, Chatu Maharajika is translated as the realms of the 4 great kings. So that meaning great king comes. But if you call by the name of the Pali, Chatu Maharaja, it is the name of the first Deva ram, so easy to catch up. And the second one is the rams of 33 gods. So Tawatensa rams in Pali, Tawatensa ram, second one. So this is called the ram of the 33 gods, and Yama, Tusida, etc. So then in the following slides, I give the definition of the every plane of existence. So as mentioned in the comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma by the Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi. So mostly I'm taking notes and I'm trying to collect collect the information for easy study. Okay, so let's go back to the chat. And Yama, the third Deva ram is translated as the realms of Yama God. And the fourth one is the realm of delightful God, which is called Tusida. This is very famous in among the Buddhist cycle, because the Tusida was the place where the Bodhisattva usually lived. Bodhisattva lived in the second last life. It means before he attained the enlightenment, that in that life he was a Tusida god. He was in the Tusida Deva realms. So our Bodhisattva also came down to the human realms to be born as a human from the Tusida realm. So the Tusida is very famous. And the last two, Nemanarati, the name is Nemanarati. Here its translation is called given as the Nemanarati in order to catch up the name. And then the last Deva ram is called Pranimita Vasawati, the realms of Pranimita Vasawati. Okay, here we complete the sensuous Kama Vachara realm, sensual plane of existence, 11. Then continue to the five material sphere plane. In Pali, it is called the Rupa Brahma realms. So Rupa Brahma realms. These are five material sphere. Altogether, there are 16. So here I mentioned according to the classification of jhana from the background, the notes. Then after that, first Patama jhana, first jhana realms. So Patama jhana. So there are three first jhana realms. So these are the retinue, the minister, and the Mahabrahma. In brief, we will briefly see, and then we will continue to the meaning. So second jhana, 3, and minor luster, infinite luster, and radiant luster. In this way, these are in the same level, but in the different, they are in different section of the planes, but they all are in the same level. But in that jhana, realms of minor auras and the realms of infinite, etc. So first jhana, second jhana, third jhana have three division or three section. In the fourth jhana, a little bit complicated, the classification of fourth jhana realms. So the lowest one of the fourth jhana, in the fourth jhana there are 7, but 3 categories. The lowest one is called the Vihafala, in Pali, Vihafala, and the realms of great reward. And the second one, this one is the realm of non-percipient beings. In the Pali, it is called the Asanya Satta. So this is only materiality beings. So we will explain later about the 3 types of beings. So here, just to note, Asanya Satta is only materiality, no mentality at all. Then the third division of the 4th jhana, the pure abodes, 5 types of pure abodes. This is called the here the name Aviha, Adabba, Sudasa, Sudasi, and Aganita. So these are 5 types of pure abode. In Pali, it is called, these are called the Suddhavasa. Suddha is pure, Avasa is place. So pure place or pure abodes. Why these are called the pure abodes? Only 3 types of person, Arahat, Arahatammaka, and Anagami Phala. So 3 types of person, the top, the most highest 3 types of person are there, not the other person. So they is very pure. The person pure, the place pure. So in this way, we understand in the 7-fold jhana, the 3rd category of 5 pure abodes. These are translated into English. So altogether, 1st jhana, RAM 3, 2nd jhana, RAM 3, 3rd jhana, RAM 3, and 4th jhana, RAM 7. Altogether, 16 fine material sphere we can understand. Then immaterial sphere 4. So the lowest one is the realms of infinite space. In Pali, it is called the Akasananchayatana. The second one is the realms of infinite consciousness. It's called the Vinyananchayatana. The third one is called the Akañchanyayatana. In English, the realms of nothingness. So if you trying to follow the meaning translated here, it will be very complicated because it is just a name, a short form. It cannot give all the whole meaning. So you need to reach the meaning of the realms in the detailed explanation. So here the highest one, the last one of the immaterial sphere is called the Neva Sanya Nasanya Yatana. The realms are neither perception, non-perception. So neither perception, non-perception. So this is the highest of the 31 plane of existence. After understanding by the name, let's see again the meaning. So here in this classification, we give the classification of the woeful planes. Woeful planes. So Niraya, Tirechana, Peta, Asura. So in order to understand them, all are called the Apaya. These 4 are called Apaya because Apa and Aya, these are device of the happiness and also device of the wholesome. So they cannot, the beings in the Apaya realms, they have no happiness and also they have no wholesomeness, wholesome action. This is the literal meaning of the Apaya, the device. The realms of existence mostly full of the painful and mostly full of the unwholesome mental activities. But you will complain about some of the animals. They are having a good condition for their pleasure, and they have the good care or like this. So, but mostly, I said that mostly the beings in the Apaya realms, Niraya, Tirechana, Peda, and Asura, are full of the pain and misery, at least under the influence of the delusion, moha. And the realms where the evildoers, here, evildoers. So evildoers, if you do anywhere evils, and as a result of the evil, that evil action, when you reborn, that will be in the Apaya realms. Because according to the natural law, there's no evil which can be the cause to be born in the upper realms. It causes the birth of the Apaya. So as a consequence of their evil deeds, they are reborn in the apaya. So all four awful states reborn in the apaya. So niraya, the first one, niraya. So I show in the chart in the lowest because I want to make the order from bottom to the top. So here in the explanation, niraya compass. So niraya is hell, the lowest plane of existence, and the place most intense suffering. So there are 8. So in the explanation, so all to 8 great hell. So in the 8 great hell, the suffering is so much intense, no relief, continuously suffering. So you cannot escape from one moment from the suffering. You can in one moment from the suffering. So intensity of the torture. There are 8 great hell, and then of each great hell have the surrounded minor hell. So 4, and these 4 also have each one has the 5 minor hell. So altogether, the 8 great hell multiplied by the 4 surrounded hell, and then they are surrounded hell 5. So altogether 160. 60. Then if we add the original 8 great hell, it becomes the 168. So these are the hell full of suffering. Nobody wants to be reborn. And the second one, Dirachana, animal kingdom. So there is no specific place for the animals, separate place for animals. They reborn the same as in the level of the human realms as an animal. So, but although some animals have the good condition to be happy in their life, but the cause of being born in that realm, in that life, is evil deeds. So this is included the Tirachana. So if you compare most of the parts of the life of the animals, the acidus amount is suffering than the happiness. So the time of happiness is 4. Then the third one is Peda spear, usually translated as the hungry ghost. So hungry ghost. And the other types of Peda also exist. But many types of Peda is already explained in the test, but not easy to conclude here how many categories of like this. So we can understand the Peda is beings who are tormented by the intense hunger, usually hunger and thirst. So they have not enough food and drink. So they always hunger and thirst. That's why they expect sharing mirrors. So this is also the reason why we share our mirrors after every session of study. So some of them are waiting for that. And so there's another plane of existence, which is called the Asura. So Peda also does not have the separate place. So they live in the human realms, in the forest or somewhere else. Maybe around us also they exist. And the last one is Asura. So Asura is the host of Asura. So Asura Gaya. Gaya means host or group. So here Asura refers to the Peda Asura. Peda means similar to the hungry ghosts. They are the beings in the suffering, Asura. Because I mentioned here, there are another type of the Asura included in the Tawadesa realms. So here we need to understand 2 types of Asura. One is Peda Asura, included under the category of Apaya. Another one is the Deva Asura, which is included under the classification of Tawadesa. They are the celestial beings of Deva deities. And okay, continue to the next slide. So in this slide, I explain the 7 sensuous blissful plane. So sensuous plane includes 11 altogether, including the apaya, 4 apaya. But if we say the by the wa blissful, so apaya is not blissful plane. So apaya, 4 apaya drop, only 7 sensual plane remain, starting from the human realm. So here the classification is given: the human realm and 6 sense-sphere heaven, Deva realms. So human realms are Manusa, and then 6 Deva realms are called as sensual blissful plane. So let's continue to understand them one after another. The first one, Manusa, our realms, the human realms. Human realms, beings, mostly the being have the sharp and developed mind. This is the general meaning. So generally, the humans have the sharp and developed mind. In other way, the real human, so not the so-called humans, the real humans are recognized by the qualification of sharp and developed mind. So in order to be a qualified humans, we have to practice ourselves to be a sharp and developed mind individuals. So any homes uh, who those are reborn as a human beings are included under the name of Manusa. So this is the realms of the Manusa, human. And the Manusa, human, are capable of weighing moral and immoral action. You know, there's not only in moral, for the moral action, only the human being can become a Buddha. So this is the greater position, the greater action. So human being can be a Buddha in the moral action side. In another action, human beings can make the very serious mistake, serious wrongdoing action, like a Venerable Devadatta. It make the division of Sangha and many others commitments. Then he was reborn in the greatest hell. So the human realm is very powerful. The human being is very powerful to make in both sides of moral action and immoral action. So we are human beings, thus we have to be careful about our action because we are very powerful. By the powerful, as a powerful being, we can make anything good and bad intensively. So we have to be careful about our action. And then, so the human realm is a mixture of the both pain and pleasure. So if you see the condition of the human beings, always miss sometimes painful feeling, just after that, the pleasurable feeling. Then sometimes the human beings are suffer and sometimes full of the joyful feelings. So this is the realms, very complicated and also how to say the very desirable, is much desirable because very powerful. So you may think the heavens, this sense-sphere heavens are more seem to be happy, but actually they usually depends on their past karma. Their happiness depends on their past karma. So human being, we can create the situation by effort and by the wisdom, but mostly the deva of the gods in 6 deva realms does not have that kind of opportunity. They just enjoy whatever given by the past action mostly. So this is the Manusa and the 6 deva realms. And if we go further detail for the 6 sense-sphere heaven, so the first one is the lowest one of the 4 great kings, the realms of 4 great kings. So 4 great kings, each king like it corresponds to the 4 direction. So here I mentioned, I gave the name or Datarata or Virulaka, Virupaka, and Visawana, which is known as the Kuwira or someone else. So they have their own group of followers. Under the rules of these four great kings, there exists the existence of the realms of four great kings. So the second one is 33 gods, Tawatinsa. So the rulers of the leader is Seka. It is very popular in the Buddhist text. Many times he came to the Buddha and asked many questions. So Seka is very popular. He's king of the Deva. But he just ruled two Deva realms of first and second one. He cannot spread his authority up to the other higher Deva realms. So the third one is the realms of Yama. So king is Suyama. So greatly they preside over, with the great happiness they usually live. So these are called Yama. And Tusita. So this is as I mentioned just before that. So Bodhisattva reborn. And Nimanarati, the fifth one, Nimanarati, is the heaven. They have the power to create object what they like. So they create and they enjoy. That's why they call the Nimanarati. Nimana is the whatever they create, and Rati is they enjoy. So by these two are is express the realms of the gods which can create and enjoy. And the last one, they don't even need to create for themselves. They can make the things to follow according to their will. The things are created by the others and they follow to their will and for their enjoyment. So they don't need to create. These are the six sense sphere happen. And let's continue to the 16 in brief. Is as I mentioned in the charts, the three categories are first jhana realm, second jhana realm, and third jhana realm, and the fourth jhana realm. In the fourth jhana realm, the three division. One is the great reward, and the second one is only materiality beings, and the third one is the Sudawasa, the fivefold pure abodes. So this can be understandable by seeing the name, but you will not understand the whole information of the planes of existence in short times. But we need to add more and more information later. So the immaterials. So here material, although emphasize the name is material, fine material, but in this case, only one realms of non-percipient beings is the materiality alone. The others are the combination of mentality and materiality. But in case of the immaterial sphere plane, there is no more materiality. So this is the information we need to understand clearly. In the side of the fine material sphere, Rupa Vachara, the only one is materiality alone. The others, both mentality and materiality. In the immaterial sphere, all of them are only mentality, no materiality. So the first one is realm of infinite space. So this realm was named according to the objects. So when any meditator trying to attain the level of concentration, which can be the cause of rebirth in these realms. So he takes the infinite space as his meditation objects. That's why this realm is called the realms of infinite space. So here, the infinite space means where it has been pervaded by the counterpart sign. So this is not easy to understand for beginner, and without any knowledge of the meditation. So these are related to the meditation stages. So if you're a meditator and if you have some other knowledge, you can understand. So the meditator trying to develop his concentration, focusing on the kasina. This is the kasina meditation. Then developing his concentration, the kasina come to the sign in his mind, and by the development of the sign, it came to the counterpart sign. So counterpart sign is so much brightness, and when he removed that counterpart sign, the speed appears. So that's called the infinite speed. So this is the infinite speed, which is the object of the first immaterial pure jhana. By the power of that jhana, he reborn as the being, but only mentality, the process of mentality, the being. So that is called the realms of infinite space. Then the second one, the realms of consciousness, also depends on the objects. The object is the first jhana, first immaterial jhana consciousness. So this is named as in this way, infinite consciousness. And the third one, the third realm, focusing on the wideness of the absence of non-existence of the first jhana consciousness. There's nothingness. This is a kind of panyati, a kind of name. Focusing on that panyati, he attained that jhana. That is called the third jhana, third immaterial jhana, not the material jhana. This is the third immaterial jhana, which is called the realms of nothingness. So the name of the jhana and the name of the planes are same. In the I want to say the addressing word the same, but the indication is this is indicated to jhana, and this is referring to the realms will be different in according to the usage where you use the word. Then the fourth one, this is the highest. In that realms, the beings have the consciousness, and manifesto, the process of mentality. But there, the percent of the perception contained in the process is very smooth. So very subtle, very subtle. So how subtle is neither perception. In common sense, it is not a perception. That's why, or we say that neither perception, but non-perception. So it is still remain the perception, very subtle perception. That's why that realm is given in that way. So here I mentioned that although the classification of immaterial sphere are divided into in this way, but there's no certain space, certain realms, but that is the only in the space where the process of mentality happens. So as a being, the mentality happens, and then the space of that place, that mentalities is called the immaterial sphere planes, because the being itself have no materiality. The plane also have no materiality, just a space. So here, just a process. The being are just a process of mentality. Mentality refers to the consciousness and the mental factors. You will understand later how they arise, and then they are in the process. So we have to remember is totally absent of materiality. So materiality, only mentality. Mentality means under the classification of aggregates. 4 aggregates are called mentality. So that's why, in order to understand, we will proceed to the classification of aggregate. Here I will take more time because we have only a few questions to answer in the Q&A question session. So I will explain more here. The classification of, according to the classification of aggregates, there are 5 aggregates. You may already understand these are familiar to all Buddhists. So Rupa Khanda, Vedana Khanda, Sanya Khanda, Sankhara Khanda, and Vijnana Khanda. So here, the translation is given as the materiality aggregate to Rupa Khanda. Vedana Khanda is the feeling aggregate. Sanya Khanda is perception aggregate. Sankhara Khanda is mental formation aggregate, and Vijnana Khanda is the consciousness aggregate. So, skipping the reality, we continue here the classification of the Nama Rupa in order to understand the mentality and materiality. So among the 5 aggregates, 4 aggregates are mentality, and only one, the first Rupa Khanda, the aggregate of materiality, it is called the aggregates of materiality. So we can understand among the 5 aggregates, one of the Rupa Khanda is aggregate of materiality, and the rest 4 are aggregates of mentality. So if we study about the reality, so as I mentioned, Citta, Cittasika, Rupa, and Nibbana are 4 ultimate reality. So here, under the classification of reality, the classification will comes under this name of the ultimate reality. So the first one refers to the 28 matters, materiality. So second, third, and fourth, they are related to the mental factors. So aggregate of mental factor, we can say aggregate of mental factor. So the first one, Vedana Khanda, the feeling aggregate is feeling mental factor. The Sanya Khanda refers to the perception. It is also mental factor. So altogether, there are 52 mental factors. So except the feeling and perception, there remain 50 mental factors. These are called Sankhara Khanda, aggregate of mental formation. And 89 types or 121 types of consciousness are called the Vijnana Khanda. So here, according to this classification, we understand the aggregate of materiality and aggregate of mentality. So we have to remember one more thing. Aggregate of mentality arise together all the time. So it means not all category, but all types, not all factors were involved, but all types of mentality arise together when they arise. So it means that when consciousness, when Vijnana Khanda arise, there are the others 3 also accompany. So when the Vedana Khanda, the second one arise, the other 3 also follow. So in the same way, they comes in the group. By the understanding of this nature, we can classify 31 planes of existence, beings in the 31 planes of existence, into the 3 categories of beings. Here, in the first day of our class, I already shared this slide, so I didn't include this one. Here, 3 types of living beings. Living beings are called, in Pali, satta, sentient beings. But anyway, this is called the beings, 3 types of beings. So the first one, namely Ikawakara beings. So the being with a single aggregate of materiality, so material aggregates. The being has only materiality. It means no mentality at all. So that one is, you can find only in Asanya Satta. So the plane of Asanya Satta. Asanya, so there's no Sanya. There's no Sanya mean no mentality, because Sanya never arise only never arise itself. It's always accompanied by the feeling, and here Sanya means perception. So second, number 3. So it always accompanies feeling and the other 15 mental factors and the consciousness. So if Sanya does not arise, If we say there is no sanya, it means there is no other mentalities too. That's why the first types of beings, only materiality beings, is mean no sanya, no mentality. This is the first type. The second one, Chatuokara. So Chatu here in this case, Chatu Pali word refers to four. So with four aggregate, four aggregates refers to the mentality four aggregate. Here, this mentality four aggregates because they come together. So the being with four aggregates mean the beings in the immaterial sphere. So the absence of the materialities, the beings only have the mentality. Mentality is under the classification of aggregate, four types of mental aggregates. So the last one have the both. It completes five aggregates. That's why that being has both mentality and materiality according to the classification of the aggregates is completes all five aggregates. So mentality and materiality all together. This is the classification of the beings. So if you understand the beings, asanya sada is only materiality, and immaterial sphere in the Pali name Arupa Brahma is the being of four mental aggregates. So no materiality. We understand in this way. So the three group, one is only materiality, second is only mentality, the third one is both mentality and materiality. So here definition is given. In order to understand, there are types of the individual, 12 types of individual. So 12 types divided into two, roughly, say Putujana, ordinary person, and the Arya, noble person. Putujana means the being does not have any attainment of any stages of enlightenment. So as long as we don't have any stage of enlightenment, beings, we are included under the title of Putujana. So there are four types of Putujana. Yeah, as I mentioned that this is the introduction. We cannot include all of the information here. So just trying to read the types of individual to catch up the name and the categories first. Then later we will explain all in detail. That this is just introduction. So there are four types of Putujana, ordinary person, are here. Here also we will start from the bottom. So the lowest one, Dogati Ahiduga. Dogati is hopeful. Ahiduga, rootless. So that being was reborn in the woeful state, and it does not have any roots. Roots also I need to introduce later. The 6 types of roots: loba, dosa, moha, aloba, adosa, moha, like this. So greed, hatred, delusion, non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusion in that way. So there is no root. That's called the rootless individual. The second one is Sugati. So Dogati refers to the 4 apaya realms. That is why that being we can find only in the apaya realms here. So in this part, I mentioned the right part, you see the red and green marks are the place of existence, and here these are the 12 types of individuals. So we are trying to understand the individuals with their name first, according to the categories. So Dogati Ahiduga and Sugati Ahiduga. So we can catch up the 2 Ahiduga, Dogati and Sugati. So depends on the plane where they reborn. So Dogati, Apaya realms, and Sugati, the blissful realms. Okay, then the third one is Dviheduga, so double rooted. The fourth one is Tiheduga, triple rooted. So triple rooted is the highest one. After that, the 8 types of noble person, Arya Pukala. So these are 8 types, and I make the mark blue and green. So blues are the path person, the path mean the like a cause. There's green are in the fruition. So these are effect, cause and effect. So in this way, 8 types of noble passing. If you attain the enlightenment, first stages, at the beginning you attain the path. So path of street entry, and you are the person of the Sotapatti Magga. Then after that, it's just after that moment, the fruition comes. So you become a Sotapatti Palatana. In this way, gradually develop your practice and your stage of enlightenment. You change to the different types of person up to the 8th one, Arahata Palatana. So in this way, there are 12 types of individual. So 12 types of individual can be found in the 31 plane of existence accordingly. So the first one here, see the apaya first. I make one category for apayas because they have the same nature according to the person, individual it has. So in the last rows of the charts, you see the number. These are the number of the individual which can be found in the certain realm of existence. So in the 4 apaya, 4 woeful state, you can find only one category of Dogati Ahituka, the woeful, rootless individual. In this way, you can study. So in the Manusa realm, among the 12 types of individual, you can find the 11, only one absent of Dogati Ahituka, because the human realm is sensuous, blissful, or blissful realms. So there's no woeful realm. So the individual of woeful state absent, the last one absent. So in the same way, Chatu Maharajika, the number same 11 as a human. So human and Chatu Maharajika has the same number, same individual. So the different for the higher 5 Deva realm, 5 Deva realm except Chatu Maharajika, the lowest one. Is the difference is there in the highest 5 Deva realm, you cannot find the double-rooted individual also, Duheduka Pukala. So it means Duheduka Pukala, double-rooted individual cannot be in the 5 here, that one. Duheduka, the third one can be reborn in the Deva realms or Deva realm. So here, but the second lowest person or Sugati Ahituga cannot be reborn in the higher 5 Deva realms. So the second Sugati refers to here the Manosa and the human and the lowest Deva realms, 2 Deva realms. Although Sugati, not all included the blissful states. So only 2 states refers. Then we continue the jhana. So these are Brahma realm. The Brahma realm, the rest are Brahma realm. So for the Brahma realm, starting from the 4th Puthujana is continue up to the Vihapala. So the lowest 4th jhana realms of Vihapala, there are 9, only 9 individual can be found. So another category of the 4th jhana realms, which is called Asanya Saddha, I mentioned that there only materiality exists. They are Ahetuka, because the materiality is Ahetuka. So the second type of Sugati Ahetuka can be found. So in the Asanya Saddha here in this realm, you can find the only one category of individual, which is called Sugati Ahetuka, because the Brahma realm is blissful realms, and the person has only materialities. The individual have the only materiality. So the combination of the Sugati and Ahetuka, it become the second Puthujana. So second Puthujana, the Sugati Ahetuka can be born in 3 plane of existence, Manusa, Chatu Maharajiga, and also Asanya Satta. Okay, then another classification of the fourth jhana, which is called the pure abode, Suddhavasa, this one has the highest three individual. So non-returner, fruition of non-returner, path of arahat, and fruition of arahat. Only three individuals can be found in the pure abodes. And for the Arupa Vachara realms, only immaterial. So there, among these higher ones, only the stream internal. So the path of stream entry absent. So in this way, we can understand how many types of individual can be found in the certain planes of existence. So this is the classification of the individual and the plane of existence. So in this lesson, we are going to review. So we studied about the 31 plane of existence, and second slide is translation, just translation, and the third one, and so on, giving the more information about the 31 plane of existence. If you review the explanation and the slide together, it will be more helpful to understand. So then up to the immaterial sphere, detailed explanation, and then we studied about the aggregates, 5 types of aggregate, and according to the aggregate and the plane of existence, we classify the beings, 3 types of beings, and then individuals and 31 plane of existence. This is what we have studied in this lesson, but we have another lesson number 38, 39, and 40, will explain more about these information of the existence and individual plane of existence, and also more information about the lifespan. So how long the duration of lifespan in the abhaya, in the manusa, human realms, and the other deva realms and brahma realms, and we have to study more. And also rebirth linking, which is called the first moment of the life. In the human race, we studied that first moment which calls the patisandhi moment. This is the rebirth linking consciousness and also rebirth linking moment. So we have to understand in which plane, what types of rebirth linking consciousness, and here only materiality, rebirth linking is also materiality. We have to understand. Then we will study more about the causative karma, and the force of the karma to be born in the Sarin plane of existence. For example, to be born in the apaya, what is the karma? Like this. And relationship. We will study relationship of the karma and its result. And also, we will study about the consciousness that can happen, that can arise in each plane. So apaya realm, what types of consciousness can happen? And the manosa realm, what types of consciousness can happen? Like this. In this way, we will extend our understanding in the next 38, 39, and 14 lesson. So this is what we have studied, but these are the slides of the lifespan, but today has no time to explain. So now I will stop today's lesson here and go to Q&A session. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Imina punya gamina mami bala samagamo Adam samagamo odu Yava nibbana bhattiya Idami punyam asawakaya vahan hodu Idami punyam nibbana sapachayo hodu Mama punya bhagam Sabha sadanam bhajemi Te sabbe me samam punya bhagam labandu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.